Pleasant greetings to you. So Zacchaeus ran ahead and climbed a sycamore tree in order to see Jesus, who was about to pass that way. From the Gospel of Luke, chapter 9, verse 14. So, does the so-called Zacchaeus dash involve running ahead of others? Let us see. You know, we are all runners too in the arena of life and relationships. When? When we run away from responsibilities, or when we run in circles, or when we run in place, never going anywhere, or even when we just move about in our comfort zones, contented, not realizing we're stuck, or even kaya when we just walk about scaring people with our outbursts of immaturity, our anger, ill temper, and selfishness. But let us look at Zacchaeus, the dasher. You know, we marvel at him not because he was fast and furious. We look at him for his very commonsensical passion and creativity. He simply dashed off to climb a tree in order to see Jesus. What does this practical sensibility imply? Well, for one, he knew himself. He had self-knowledge and self-acceptance. Tanggap niya yun. He was vertically challenged. So, he took steps to overcome his limitations. Have we embraced our many limitations in life so far? Are we taking passionate, creative steps to overcome them? Zacchaeus was proactive. He did not allow the opinions of other people to get in the way of his noble desires and aspirations, to simply see Jesus. Do we have a longing desire daily to meet up with our God through prayer and meditation? Zacchaeus took the time off for the biggest rock, so to speak, the most important thing in his life. Is God not our biggest rock yet in our earthly lives? My friends, let me offer some dashing reminders. Are you a wise dasher yet? Know yourself. Accept your giftedness and your limitations. With our limitations, though, we are free to do two things. First, we can accept them as graces from God, meant for some personal purposes. Secondly, if these are moral and spiritual limitations, God is challenging you to do something very personal to overcome these limitations. Are you up for the challenge? Be proactive. Make it a habit to affirm yourself with this mantra: I am responsible for my own feelings. I do not allow the weaknesses of others to rule my life. Remember, your earthly time belongs to God. Give it back to Him, and everything will be given back to you by Him in His time, in good measure, pressed down and shaken together and running over. On your next visit to the cemetery or the columbary this November 1st, I want you to pay attention to the inscriptions on your beloved's lapida or tombstone. What do you see there? Of course, the name of your beloved, right? A fave moniker or a quotation, maybe. Then you see the date or year of the person's birth, as well as the date or year of the person's death, right? Aha! Here's the question for you. What do you often fail to notice looking at that lapida? Well, you've always looked at it, right? But we often fail to notice this rather insignificant mark. But let me tell you, this is the most important mark in the lapida. Yes. And what is it? The dash. The dash in between the dates. Persons who are still alive do not have dates after the dash, right? So, what does that dash indicate? It is quite obvious really, and very, very telling. Let me repeat it here. You know, what really matters most of all is the dash between those years. Why? Because it represents all the time that a person spent alive on earth. And now, only those who knew and loved the person know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. You and I are but dashers in this lifetime, sa ayaw mo't sa hindi. And you know what? That dash seems to remain constant in its insignificant length. The person may have lived days or years, rich or poor, known or unknown, popular or unpopular. It still stays the same for everyone. Yes, only God can see through that dash. So the question we ask ourselves now is, how do we plan to write this dash of our life? Maybe if we could just slow down enough to consider what is true and real and always try to understand the way other people feel, or be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love people more in our lives like we've never loved before. Or maybe if we treat each other with more respect and more often wear a smile, and always remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. Maybe only then, along our life's dash, can we recognize Jesus inviting us, "Come down quickly, for today I must stay in your heart." Only then can our tiny dashes between the dates be worth more than all the precious inscriptions in our tombstones. Okay, a final question. With your pen in hand, how can you correct this broken and skewed dash and shorten it without your pen touching it? Aha, a tricky question indeed. But there is a practical answer when you think outside the box. What is it? Write a new straight dash with your pen. Haha, gotcha. Basta, it is never too late to do the Zacchaeus dash. Let God run your life and He'll run the race with you. It is never too late to rewrite your broken dashes into one whole straight dash. Let Jesus do the writing. You do the living and loving. So, are you ready for the Zacchaeus dash? May God bless you.